Hello. In this episode, Neil and I are taking a trip to a vinyl record store with a difference in Manchester. Hope you enjoy this. Well, here we are, Neil. We are in the centre of Manchester again, just walking out of town along Ashton Canal, which leads where? Ashton under Lyne.
Ashton under Lyne, right?
Yeah.
Tip of my tongue.
Yeah. And this canal, as far as I remember, runs parallel to the Rochdale Canal, which we were just beside the other week, weren't we?
Yeah. And I think there is a fascinating collection, a myriad of canals in this area that all link into each other, don't they?
We are walking away from Manchester to, you've done the research on this one and the location, but somewhere called Vinyl Fetishes, and I just want to check before we go any further that this is a record store and not something else.
No, this is, and it looks amazing. Manchester's got so many great independent record stores, Piccadilly Records and the like, but we wanted to have a look at a store which was a little bit different, and obviously this is combining two of the things we've been looking at recently, promoting local independent record stores, but also looking at Manchester as a centre of music. And so part of that is looking at how people consume, buy and listen to music. So I came across this record shop a while ago, and it's absolutely fascinating actually where it is, but I won't say any more than that. Let's wait until we get there, but it'll be well worth it.
I'm intrigued.
Indeed.
Let's crack on.
Indeed. So, I promised you that where we were going was somewhere just a little bit different. And here we are in Pollard's Yard. It's a yard of container vans. And no, these aren't ready to go on a ship. These all contain stores, cafes, beauty places, relaxation centres. And it's in one of these very same containers that we're going to find Vinyl Fetishes, what I think is going to be one of the most remarkable record stores in the whole of Manchester. Let's go and find out more. So here we are in, I think it's an incredible setting, Vinyl Fetishes Records. So I've never been anywhere like this. It's a treasure trove of great records in a sort of amazing container as well. But I'm here with the owners, with Glenn and Sash, and nice to see you. Good afternoon.
Nice to meet you.
How are you? And I think just it'd be really interesting to kick off, just tell us a little bit about the store and how it's set up.
Well, you can do it.
So we've only been open since middle of September. It came about because Sash sadly got made redundant last year. He was working at the post office, and he decided he wanted to do something for himself, something he cared about. We've been collecting music for vinyls for the last 10-15 years. We've always been music fans, so this was an obvious step for us. So
It's a no-brainer.
yeah, there's a bit of a gap in Manchester. I think there's a few good independent record shops in Manchester, but they tend to focus on indie rock music. And we noticed there was a bit of a gap for pop music and dance music, so that's what we collect. That's what we want to be able to buy somewhere. So that's why we set this up.
And it's quite an unusual setting where you are. So it's just down the Ashton Canal in the wasn't the floodlights of the Etihad here as well. So what was it about Pollard's Yard then that attracted you?
You found it, didn't you?
Yeah, so we've lived close by for about 3 years, but we only found it about 18 months ago. It's a quirky little area to be in. Lots of independent shops and independent artists work up here, so it's quite a creative little area, so it's quite nice to be in. Little spaces that can grow, so it's perfect for us. It's exactly what we needed as the first step.
I've never been before as well, but it looks incredible. I mean, this is going to be somewhere we're going to come back and visit, and because I suppose of where you are, what's the balance between sort of online sales and in-person sales as
So
well?
it's more like
I'd say
70.
70-30,
Yeah.
yeah. I was going to say
Yeah.
60-40, so
There you go.
65-35. We meet in the middle, yeah. Probably more online at the moment. We're getting our name out there still pushing our name. We're getting more and more people through the door, so
Yeah.
it'd be nice to get that 50-50 spot, to be fair.
Yeah.
And social media helps.
It does. It
Constantly.
helps get
Yeah.
our name out there. We've done a few things.
Instagram, TikTok. Get
Yeah.
them all in.
Well, that's the way, isn't it? I think it rewards being creative, doesn't it?
Yeah.
As well, and something like this, which is a really creative space, really fits with that narrative.
Yeah.
And you talk about people coming in the store. Who's your typical market? Who is it who comes in and buys records?
It wasn't our intention, but I'm quite pleased that it's
Yeah.
the LGBTQ
Yeah.
audience that are buying it. They've never really had a home to go to in Manchester where they feel happy, comfortable, confident. I've had it myself. I've gone in onto a record shop and asked for Mariah Carey, for example, and felt a bit judged
Yeah.
asking for that. Even though it's advertised for Record Store Day, you still feel a little bit judged. So we wanted to create that space that made people feel safe and
Yeah.
comfortable. So
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really interesting when you look at. I think there is more of a growth of record stores, what they tend to focus on, which tends to be guitar-based bands, the sort of classic acts as well. But there isn't that pop element in there as well,
Yeah.
at all. Even, so you've got the most recent Pet Shop Boys album here. It's quite hard to get hold of some of their back catalogue on vinyl, certainly in Nonetheless, their last one, which is, from a major artist as well, filling out arenas. And you've certainly got a number of records here that I've not seen anywhere else on vinyl at all, so it's great to see that.
that's what we're
Try
hoping
and go
for.
for the imports as well, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. It's things that we wanted to buy, so we wanted to get some of the imports. We wanted to get some of the pop music, and so now we can offer it to other people as well.
Yeah.
Rather than rely on Amazon and things like that.
And one of the things that I think my sort of Pet Shop Boys theme is that both Neil Tennant and Chris Lowe talk a lot about is how pop is looked down upon compared to rock and indie and those sorts of things. And I suppose from your perspective, as music lovers and record store owners, why do you think that is?
It's not cool. It's manufactured.
true.
Pop music's manufactured, and it is what it is. I don't think you can escape that. And I think whereas indie seems a bit more cooler because it's more organic. It's grown. It's people growing up learning guitars and drums and things like that. So learning to write their songs. Whereas pop music is manufactured.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that as long as it's done well. So
Yeah. And the irony is, I suppose, now that anybody with a laptop can produce something we were listening the other night to the Blonde album, which of course is a great guitar based, but I think she did that in a bedroom as well. And you've had artists like Little Boots as well from my hometown of Blackpool, again a very sort of small cottage industry, but obviously using keyboards to do that as well. And so you said about your own love of music before you opened it. What were the treasures of your own record collections?
It's more or less the same as this.
Yeah, it
Pop
is.
and R&B.
Yeah.
So it's basically replicating what we've got.
I think the biggest collection part of our collection is Kylie. There's a lot of Kylie vinyls at home, so it's quite nice. It was quite exciting. We opened just before her last album was released, so I was quite excited to get that in.
So if there was only one album that you could take with you, even from the store here, what would it be?
I'd say Janet Jackson. Her music is just keeps on going, doesn't it? It's just brilliant. Love it.
Amazingly, because in many ways you'd think of her as being an artist stuck in the 90s, really, isn't it? But actually, no, she's still producing stuff and had some really good coverage recently, hasn't she, as well, with what she's done?
Yeah, exactly.
As well. Glenn, what about you? Would it be a Kylie album?
It probably would be a Kylie album, yeah. We were talking about Aphrodite before we started filming. I've got that at home, thankfully. But there's a few Kylie albums that I love. So something from Kylie, probably her best would be, I'd say X, but it's not out on vinyl yet. So.
Yeah. And do you have particular artists that most people come in and buy? What's probably your most popular record that you tend to sell here, or popular artist?
Since we've opened, I'd say Chapel Roan has been our most popular.
Dua Lipa.
Lady Gaga, Dua Lipa. They're probably our biggest sellers. FKA Twigs, the last couple of weeks, has been really big seller for us as well. So, which is great to hear. Someone not as big as the other guys. So,
okay. And if there was something here that you've got in store that maybe is less obvious, less well known, and you want to sort of recommend to people, this is something. Well, we've learned a load about brand new artists because record store owners have said, like, this is this sort of nugget that you might not have heard before. What would it be, Sasha? What would yours be?
I would say there's a girl called Tasha. She does dance music. Obviously, it's not well known, but the album, brilliant.
So I don't think we would have ever found that without running a record shop. Exactly. That's a really good record.
Yeah. And Glenn, what would it be?
Similar sort of music, a Turkish Italian DJ called Carlita.
Yeah.
Again, another album we wouldn't have found without having the record shop. She's brilliant. So, but then also we've been able to support some local artists. Paul Heaton. We've got his vinyl that he's brought in. We've got another one that we're discussing with at the moment about stocking his records. So some people that we would never have heard of without this place as well, which is great.
Yeah. And so it's really well established now. You've got a great location, great selection. What's next? Where do you want to go next with the store or events? How are you going to grow it?
Go to a bigger place, hopefully. End of this year,
hopefully.
Next year.
Yeah, we want to grow. We want to grow and be able to offer a bit more. We've noticed that when people finish here, they go around to the coffee shop and have a coffee and have a drink. So
I'm going to
offer it
infuse
all
that
in one
into the
place.
record shop. Drinks, coffee.
Yeah.
But also some social events as well. We want to be able to host social events in a bigger space. So.
Yeah, and that's something that when we've gone around some different stores where they've been able to maybe have a little small performance space to do an in-store, as well as bringing people in through something else like coffee, cake, etc., etc. That's a pretty good business model to have as well, actually.
Exactly.
And would you stay in? I mean, don't want to tell the owners apology, but would you stay here? Or?
It is a good area. The neighbourhood around here is growing. They've got plans for more apartments to grow, so it'd be a good place for us to stay.
Yeah.
It'd be better if we were on a natural footpath where people are walking past us. Yeah. There's no denying that. But yeah, it is a cool area to be.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. You've got an amazing store here and all the best with it. Thanks very much. Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Here we are. When you're working in the media industry, we need to keep our refreshments on the go. And here we are outside another Heart to Feed, which recently won Best Coffee Shop in the Manchester Food and Drink Festival Awards. I'm looking forward to going inside now.
Yeah, I'm intrigued as to how good their coffee is, because we've sampled a lot over the course of the past few months.
So I really enjoyed our trip to Vinyl Fetishes, Neil. It was great fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a lovely walk out there, wasn't it? Along the Ashton Canal, and I love the setting in Pollard's Yard. It was really creative and great to have those creative spaces in the city, wasn't it? And Sasha and Glenn were lovely, and they've got a really great little record store going there. And I hope people make the effort to walk out there, because they've got, and I think. This is clear in the film, isn't it, that they do cater more for a pop, R&B, dance audience, and but they've got a great range within there, haven't they, as well? So definitely go and have a look. And I think they've also got an online presence as well, but it's worth going because they're just great people to go and meet and have a chat with.
Yeah, lovely guys, and the walk was amazing too, wasn't it? I mean, it was a lovely day, but a walk through history of Manchester in an area which I haven't really explored, and then you arrive at this really unique setting, and we've never been to a vinyl store quite like it. I mean, they've all got their unique points, haven't they? But this one was super special.
Yeah, it was, and I think as we said yesterday when we were walking, it's a part of the city where you could probably throw a stone and you'd hit somebody with a camcorder or a microphone or a boom or something recording something, but you styled it out really well. I thought you stood out in the crowd there, Gary. Definitely.
Thanks, Neil. Yeah. And we stopped off on the way back for a lovely coffee. And that was an incredible coffee, and I can see why it won the award of best coffee shop in Manchester.
Yeah, it did. It was. You had a flat white, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I did. Yeah, it's funny. I wish I'd had the flat white as well, because that's normally my coffee of comparison. That allows me to properly compare the quality of different coffees. And I had a long black, which translated, is an Americano. It was really nice, wasn't it? And it was a great set, and obviously pretty busy, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And we purchased a couple of items. That's the Vinyl Fetishes. I was spoilt for choice, really. But what did you get? Remind me.
Well, again, it's one of those. I think one of the great things when we go to some of these record stories is the opportunity of buying something that you otherwise haven't heard. Just try something different. And a long time ago, I downloaded a couple of albums by the New Zealand artist Lady Hawk, which I really, really like in that sort of electro pop field. And I hadn't seen any of her stuff on vinyl before. Actually, that's one of the great things about, I think, Vinyl Fetishes, what they had. And so I got this, which was, I think, it's about 4 years old, and it's her last record that she made. It's called Time Flies. I've not had a chance to hear it yet, but I know it got really good write-up when it came out. So yeah, I'm very excited to give it that a whirl and having a listen to it. What about yourself? What do you get? Well, I know I was there, but I'm asking this for the sake of the episode.
Roisin Murphy's album from 2023, Hit Parade, which is one of my favourite albums of the year. I've heard it before, obviously. I've just been listening to it now. You see one on the turntable.
Yeah.
It came in a nice marble orange vinyl. It's a lovely gatefold album. Comes with a CD, which I've just dropped on the floor. So really enjoying that. And I also bought a copy. They've got a small selection of second-hand vinyl there, haven't they? I bought a copy of...
I didn't sneak that one in. I didn't see it. Yeah.
Nana Cherry's debut album from 1989, Raw Like Sushi, which is one of my favourites. A really groundbreaking album of the time, and it's got the amazing single Buffalo Stance on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I do like
good find.
Yeah.
Good find. And I think, am I right in saying that they didn't have a huge selection of used records, but they were from their own collection, wasn't it? I think
that's right. Yeah.
Which was quite neat, wasn't it? They sort of purged their collection and sold them there. Yeah.
Can you see you doing that one day, Neil?
Not voluntarily.
Not voluntarily, no.
No, I might be forced to at some point, but no, it wouldn't be out of choice.
Do hope everybody enjoyed the episode. I'd like to thank Glenn and Sasha for having us along.
Yeah.
Get yourselves down to Vinyl Fetishes. It's a great trip out.